Live from Austin, Texas, with host Rosie Newberry. Local trends, shopping, and more. This is Studio 512.
Oh, are you guys not so excited? It is finally time for pumpkins, my favorite season. Uland hosts an autumn wonderland starting this weekend, offering family fun with a fall twist. Christopher Durst and Ron Merrill are here to tell us more about what to expect this year, and we're happy to have them. Y'all, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. And Christopher, you and I have talked before. This is the second annual. Last year, the inaugural fest.
That's right.
It's getting bigger. It was wonderful to start with. You guys already had some really cool ideas, and now we're expanding again. So talk to me about what we can expect this year.
I mean, you're right. Every year we like to level up and change the festival. It's never the same thing when you come in. But this year we've added a huge jump pad, raccoon racers, our trike speedway, all kinds of different yard games that we've actually created. And it's just a lot of fun. I mean, there's 50 plus games, activities, and attractions at the festival.
It actually would take too much time. We don't have enough minutes here on live television to go through all of the incredible activities that are family friendly. So that's a really big point we want to make here, right?
Yeah, it's completely focused on families and kids. Very safe property. It's about 15 acres, very easy to get around, easy to navigate, understand where you are on the property, extremely safe. You can pretty much walk in, let your kids run wild, and parents get to hang out and have a good time as well.
Doesn't that sound nice, parents? You guys head on over and get some kettle corn or something like that. Enjoy yourselves a little bit while the kids go hog wild. Okay, I want to make sure, Ron, that I ask about you, and you're with the EDC down in Uland.
Correct.
So if you wouldn't mind, remind all of us at home who maybe don't have a business degree about what an EDC is and what you do.
Certainly. We are the Economic Development Corporation, and we help foster economic development in Uland. And so very happy to have the Uland Fall Festival, and we're rolling out the red carpet for what we think will be a lot of visitors this weekend.
Well, and
let's
talk more about Uland if you wouldn't mind, because it's not a huge town. In fact, we had to sit down and Google it. The only reason I know how to pronounce it is because I was a meteorologist. And you can't get places wrong in Central Texas.
Right.
But tell us just a little bit about the town itself.
You know, Uland borders Kyle. We're between Kyle and Lockhart, and it's just growing like crazy. And so, you know, we had 350 population 10 years ago, and now I think it's like 5,000, and it's slated to be 20,000 here before too long. So really growing. It's a great community. It's just a fantastic place. It's still very rural, but it's 30 minutes from Austin, so we get a lot of transplants from Austin, and it's just a thriving little community.
And probably slightly better pricing than you would have gotten in the middle of town.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So if you're looking for a little bit more space, this is a good place to be. And so speaking of, let's touch, Christopher, if you don't mind, on some more of those activities, attractions. We can see some of them here, but boy, it looks like a lot of fun. Oh, look at that. Pistol, spinning.
So every weekend, to really keep things interesting, we have themed weekends. So, the first weekend is our Bubble Extravaganza. Second weekend is our Pumpkin Jamboree. We have a celebration.
Pumpkins are 50% off that
That's
weekend,
right? They are. Second weekend
I'm
celebration.
big on decorating the front of the, stoop.
Yeah. And all the varieties, too. That's what's really fun, is how colorful everything is. There's over 50 varieties. Pie pumpkins, apple gourds, the witch gourds, swans, of course, your jack-o'-lanterns for carving, Turkish turbines, all your mini varietals. There's so much that you can do with them. It's great to carve them, but it's even better to bring them all home and decorate with them.
It's just incredible the amount of color and variety that you can see looking at something like this. So you said this is the jack-o'-lantern style
Your
pumpkin.
Traditional jack-o'-lantern, yes.
Okay, so if you want to bring home something like this, maybe are there people there who can help us a little bit?
Oh,
if you're not sure you've got the right one.
Absolutely. Well, we've got pumpkin carts too. You can grab one, walk around the pumpkin patch, which is enormous. It's giant, and just spend some time out there and enjoy the 50 plus photo ops that we have out there in the pumpkin patch around the festival. I mean, there's just endless amounts of things to do for families.
Well, and there are animals too.
Yes.
Clarence is going to be there. Clarence the camel.
Yep, he's pretty much the mascot of the festival. We've added some of his friends this year. We're doing a kangaroo encounter, so you get to come out and cuddle with the Joeys.
No way.
And petting zoo and pony rides, and it's just a lot of fun. It really is.
A lot of fun on a lot of space. And speaking of space, Ron, you wanted to make one mention that, I told you is my over-under sometimes for getting me to go to an event. Certainly. And that's what the parking situation is.
Well,
so talk to me.
We're very proud of the festival, but we're super proud of the parking lot. So we can park 3,000 cars and it's right up front, and it's free parking, and so super easy to get in and out and super safe. So you're not walking down the highway or something like that.
Yeah.
So
right in
nice.
front. And I'm glad that you brought up safe and accessibility, because this is ADA compliant as well. You guys have put a lot of effort into making sure that trails and pathways are wide enough
That's absolutely
for
right.
strollers and wheelchairs.
That's right. Also ADA restrooms spread out throughout the property. But really, of course, you spend a lot of time and energy and money on the past to ensure that it was accessible to everyone. Walkers, strollers, wheelchairs, everybody's welcome, and they'll have a great time and easy to get around.
Yeah, even though 15 acres, you say it is navigable.
Yeah.
And you get a cool map. So we're showing it to people at home, but you can also check it out online. Look at just these kids having like the time of their lives. That's what you want if you're a parent, right? And to walk away with that little photo op, maybe make it part of the holiday Christmas card, that kind of thing.
I have teenage girls, and they had a ball too, and it was the photo ops that they like best.
Dad, this is so helpful,
Yes.
because it's really hard to please teenagers.
Right. Yeah, no, this is great.
Okay, so make it Insta-worthy.
Right.
They can come
Exactly.
out, bring their phones, take pictures with their friends. That's awesome. And then I did also want to ask Ron about special discounts, because you guys are making sure that you take care of people who take care of others.
That's right. So I think the first responders, veterans, and
active military
are all free.
That's right.
And
every day, every weekend.
Yeah, and I know they're doing a lot of special stuff for different groups. So
Yeah, so you see their babies, seniors, a lot of folks. So that's really wonderful that you guys are giving back in that way. And so exciting because it kicks off this Saturday, right?
It does. We're excited.
All
Today's
right.
last day of the build.
I will see you there on Sunday, and good luck, because I know you guys are probably going to have a sleepless night or two.
Yes.
Before we get the doors open, the gates open, and everybody flowing in. Y'all, thank you so much. We
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. Thank
Of
you.
course. All right. A reminder, different themes every weekend. Plenty of ways to get discounted tickets as well. First responders, seniors, you name it. Plan your visit right now at ulinfallfest.com. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness. Chronic inflammatory conditions like arthritis can change everything: your mobility, your energy, even your ability to be a parent or grandparent. Dr. Lucas Brown of Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness is here today to talk to us about how a turning point is possible. So Dr. Brown, I want to ask first and foremost, what do you see most often when patients walk through the door?
Sure, yeah. For most patients, when they walk through the door, they've been dealing with the same thing for a long period of time, and usually it's pretty debilitating. It's about their quality of life is just kind of gone away. In Pauline's case, who we're about to hear from, she was dealing with degenerative arthritis, and she really wasn't able to do anything. She would have these flare-ups that would last for weeks, and within 3 weeks of treating her, we got those flare-ups down to nothing.
All right, let's go ahead and take a listen to what Pauline has to say.
Thank you.
Before I found the Rosedale Wellness Center, I had a lot of trouble with flare-ups from my degenerative arthritis, and I have some inflammatory elements. And one of the first things I noticed after about 3 weeks is that I had not had any more inflammatory episodes. I have been able to do a lot more, especially with my little grandson. I used to not be able to pick him up at all, so I can play a lot better with him. I've started getting back to an exercise regimen, which I'd had to give up. Between the wonderful care that I get here and the great outcomes that I've been feeling, that's been the best. If I was speaking to someone who was looking for help, I would suggest that they just take a deep breath and relax and listen to what Dr. Brown has to say. You don't necessarily see the results in one day, but I definitely felt it within the first 2 weeks of starting treatment.
Wow, it's really nice to hear from Pauline, and something that stuck out to me there, Dr. Brown, is her ability to play with her grandson again. That's quality of life.
Absolutely, and that might not sound like medicine to most people, but that's what we do here, right? It's about connection, movement, independence. I've joked before that I feel like I have the best job in the world because we restore that quality of life. I now think that grandparents have the best job in the world. We get to help them do their job, so that makes us the second best job in the world. I mean, if there's one takeaway, don't give up hope. I mean, maybe it's with us, maybe it's with someone else, but definitely there is something that can be done. But here it all starts with a conversation.
Powerful medicine indeed. All right, Dr. Brown, thank you.
Thank you.
If anyone out there watching can relate, give Rosedale Acupuncture a call, and their patient care coordinator will set up a free consultation with Dr. Brown to see if he can possibly help you. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness. Welcome back. For many people, fall is a favorite time of the year. That's me. And there's plenty of ways to enjoy the season all across Texas. Joining us now is Kristen Finan with Austin Travels Magazine to talk more about what's available here in the Lone Star State to have a little fun during autumn. Good morning.
Good morning. I know we both love this time of year.
We do. It's the best, and it's so nice that the humidity is cut down a little bit, gives us just a little taste of maybe like cooler days might be coming.
It's coming.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's talk about what makes fall in Texas so special.
Oh, I mean, there's just so much going on, of course, in Central Texas. And I know you don't think of it like traditional fall, like in the, maybe the East Coast, but we do. We get the leaves changing. We have the amazing pumpkin patches. We have that perfect weather. We have the annual festivals. And so it's a really great time to get your calendar out and give yourself some things to look forward to.
Absolutely. And I thought really that our leaves didn't change. It just took a couple of years of me paying attention. Really, it's like November, December when you finally start to see the changing of the leaves, but it does happen here.
It does happen, and if you know where to go, like Lost Maples is famous because that is one spot of Texas you can count on it predictably every year. There's going to be a change and you can take those beautiful photos. So that's another place, like book ahead, but you do start to kind of learn where to go and what to do to get the fall vibes, the full fall vibes.
And take some pictures for sure. Okay, this I know I'm going to be so excited about. Sweet Berry Farm. Tell me about this.
Yes, this is an annual tradition for us. We've been going since the kids were teeny tiny, and it's just another one of those iconic fall festivals, right? So it's in Marble Falls, so it's like an hour. So you feel like you're getting a little day trip in, seeing something new, and then it has all the things. It has the donkey rides and goats, and it has thousands of pumpkins and scarecrow stuffing and a berry bounce and pumpkin ice cream and just all pumpkin all the time, and anything that you can dream of is kind of there in this little microcosm of fall. So it's just a perfect place and great for the kids, of course.
I'm really kicking myself that I haven't been out there yet. Okay, Sweet Berry Farm, I'll have to write that down. I didn't know that Green had a music and wine festival. Tell me about this.
I'm so excited about this. I was in Green last weekend because this is another one of my fall favorites because some people think of Green, which is in New Braunfels, as like a summer destination, floating the river, and it's awesome being on the river and beautiful.
The grist mill.
And the grist mill, for sure. Go for the onion rings. But yeah, I mean, in fall, it clears out. You can still do all the river activities, go kayaking, paddle boarding, and then really take in what Green has to offer. So I was out there, there's a new hotel called Hacienda del Rio that's really beautiful, and it's just like 2 minutes from downtown Green. So with the festival, they have Green Hall with these amazing acts. It's gonna be Josh Abbott, Chaparral, Cody Canada, Jamie Johnson, and then the town is also just going to go crazy for fall. So you're going to have all kinds of different wine vendors, of course, hill country vendors, a bunch of new breweries, new beers to try. And of course, the food scene is amazing too.
Wonderful. I think it's taking a lot of pieces that were already present and finally bringing them together is what it sounds like.
Yes, it's like shining the spotlight on what we all kind of knew was there and what we would go for pieces of, and now it's just all coming together and it's so much fun.
Which is really cool. And what were the dates of that again?
That's the weekend of the 8th. 8th, October 8th.
October 8th. Okay, so it's not too far. All right, so we have a new producer, Blake. I think folks have seen some of his segments now starting to pop up on Studio 512. But I've gotten on, kind of a high horse about a couple of things, and Wurst Fest is one of them. I'm like, you have to go appreciate the German heritage that we get out in the hill country. It's just absolutely amazing.
It is so fun. Are you going to make him dress up too?
Lederhosen, Blake. Lederhosen. They're for you.
Yes. But that's the thing, about going to Wurst Fest is really, you can embrace it as much or as little as you want, but you're still going to have the time of your life. So, get your sausage or bratwurst on a stick. You're going to see the polka bands. You're going to do the carnival rides. And you see people dressed up all over the place, too.
Yeah, and those cute little, alpine hats. I've been wanting one for a while, so, with a little feather in the cap, that sort of thing.
That would be perfect on you.
Thank you, thank you. But it's also a really beautiful venue right on the river.
Yes.
So even if, tucking into a lot of very cold, very delicious beer is not your go-to, there is great live music, as you mentioned, and I think it's an experience for polka music that you really don't get a chance to hear otherwise.
Oh, absolutely. And the bands, they all have fun names like Squeeze Box Molly or whatever. It's so fun to look at the music lineup, and it's just such a different thing that's so special to Central Texas.
And some of these bands are pretty big, y'all. They go, a couple of people up to about 20 of them standing there on stage, all tooting and horting and all that sort of thing.
It's a party.
Yeah,
it's an absolute party.
It's a really good time. And a great way to experience some German culture here in Central Texas. Okay, and then this one I didn't know about. Tricks, Treats, and Trails at McKinney Ruffs.
Yes, and I just wanted to kind of mention that because also the Texas State Parks are really amazing. In the fall, it's one of the best times to go. And this is just a super fun activity that you can take the kids to. And basically what they do is set up different trick-or-treat stations in the park. So you're hiking through the park, you're enjoying the trails, and you're also looking for that candy. So it's a great incentive for the kids to want to go.
I'll keep going, Mom. I'll keep going.
Look for the candy. But also to enjoy the great outdoors. And, it's an awesome time to plan your camping trips too. And to, maybe once you go, you'll think, oh, let's get our camping on for November, December too. And our parks are just so special.
For other parts of the country, not a comfortable time to be out camping. For Texas, this is it.
This is it.
Overnight lows in the 60s and 50s. This would be a great time to start putting together a camping trip kind of thing.
Exactly. It's perfect.
Yeah. And you, of course, know everything there is to know about traveling around Texas and beyond. So will you just tell me a little bit more about anything else that's new at Austin Travels?
Yeah, we just have our fall edition out. So we do have some camping advice. We've got a lot of staycations and day trips. And we all love fall. We just are doing all the fall things on Austin Travels.
What is it about this wonderful season? Every single person who I bring in is like, you're right, it's my favorite season too, but it is just so wonderful. Yeah, well, we appreciate your time today, Christian. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right, for more information on all the fun you can have this fall, check out austintravels.com or follow along on social media at Austin Travels Mag. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Kunik Orthodontics. Creating beautiful smiles since 1991 using customized treatment plans tailored to each unique patient. We're talking today about Kunik Orthodontics with Beth Hoyle, treatment coordinator. Beth, talk to us about Kunik and who it is y'all serve, because I was a little bit surprised by your statistics.
Kunik, Dr. Randy Kunik, an orthodontist here in Austin, has been in private practice for over 30 years, specializes in both children and adult orthodontics. So here we probably have about 70 to 80% of our patients are adults, ranging from their 20s up to their 80s.
Wow. Y'all are a top 1% Invisalign Blue Diamond Plus. Talk to me about what's new with Invisalign and if that's the only straightening option you use.
So Dr. Kunik, when we meet with a new patient, every patient that we meet, it's different. The case is different. The bite, the alignment. And so some cases are not a good candidate for Invisalign, and so we'll go in that toolbox and we'll get the traditional braces, or we'll design a plan, what we call a hybrid, where it's a little mix of both tools, the brackets and the Invisalign. And that is the only clear aligner Dr. Kunik does use in his practice.
Behind us is this iTero machine. Is that what it's called?
It's called the iTero, and they've come up with a few models.
Okay.
This has replaced, if you go down memory lane, the gooey molds, the impressions.
I hated them, that pink goop.
Yes, so this takes our assistants, which are fantastic, about 2 minutes to take an upper and a lower scan with what we call a bite registration. And then this scan is what we submit either to Invisalign or to our bracket lab or another lab for a particular appliance.
When I think of orthodontics, I think of getting those teeth straight, nice and bright and
Right,
white,
yep.
right? But there are health benefits here that we want to highlight.
Orthodontic treatment, one, it's function, two, it's for the overall health of the teeth. The aesthetic part, we always say, to be candid, that's the last thing on our mind. That's just the icing on the cake. But it's health, it's function, and three, we don't want it to get worse.
So I know that orthodontic treatment traditionally has not normally been seen as something super affordable,
Right.
but you're doing what you can to help folks pay for it.
Yes, it's an elective field, and so they're coming in for a reason. And so then it's my job to work with that patient to design that financial contract that works in their budget.
Sounds good to me, Beth. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Kunik Orthodontics has 3 Austin locations: downtown, Domain Northside, and Westlake. Make an appointment today at kunikorthodontics.com. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Kunik Orthodontics. Welcome back. He is the pro in everything plants, and he's always generous in sharing his knowledge with us here on Studio 512. Joining us now is Lance Robertson with plants, and today we're talking trees. He basically brought in a forest for us, so we're very excited. Lance, good morning.
Good morning. It's one of my favorite topics.
This is some of the tallest stuff we've ever had on set, so I'm excited. Today we're talking long living trees. What do you mean by that?
Sure, you know, everyone wants to plant a tree, and it's that old set it and forget it. That's what we all want. These are the trees that not only can you put them in the ground and kind of forget them once they're established, they're going to live longer than any of us are going to live. So these are the trees that we see planted around that, like, we're guessing when in the 1600s were these trees planted, when before we all got here, when did this tree start? So that's really why I like especially these 5 trees in Central Texas. These are the trees you can go out and find just big old trees of these.
Oh, so cool. Yeah, to think about the history involved with some of the bigger trunks that you see and all the rings, unfortunately, when you see one cut down. We're talking a live oak first. And of course, if you're semi-new to Central Texas, this is what's giving you allergies in December and January, right?
Yeah, it's one of the trees that the pollen bothers some people. So certainly if you've got a live oak or an oak problem, this is not a tree that you want. But if you look around Austin, this is also the tree that a lot of places have that you're sitting under. One of my favorites is George over at Mean-Eyed Cat. It's one of the oldest trees in Austin, something like 340 years old probably when we measured it last week.
Yeah.
And again, spans on some of these trees hundreds of feet. Same thing with the height, so they're really good. They're also one of the trees that are really pretty much evergreen. So these are great trees year round because, you know, it's Central Texas. In December, it may be 80, and this is a tree that you're going to want to sit under because it's got the leaves still.
And I love the way they spread out. They look so majestic, so perfect for like climbing trees, reading a book there when you're a kid. It's like a very fantastical tree, I think, when you see one fully bloom.
Especially as they age, they look so wild. There's several in Central Texas that touch the ground and come back up. I mean, they really are a very unique tree.
Love it. Okay, bur oak. I asked off camera if this is the one that makes the fuzzy little acorns, and you said yes.
It is. The way that I've always remembered it, or I was told as a little kid, is you know it's a bur oak because they put their acorns in blankets because burr, it's cold. So, of course, the bur oak is the one that everyone sees. What acorn is this? There's some giant bur oaks in Austin. Most of the big ones I know about are in front of people's houses. So if you're driving through a neighborhood and you just see a monster tree, a lot of them happen to be bur oaks.
Which one is it here?
This is the bur oak.
Okay.
It's the bigger leaves of the oaks. They do really well. They do drop leaves. But they are just enormous trees when they're full grown. I think you guys have a picture of one that I think is like 18 feet around at the base.
Wow.
And it spreads, 3 front yards basically. So they're great trees to have and really easy to maintain.
So once we get a long living tree, quote unquote, established, these are obviously like sapling seedlings. They're kind of like little teenagers. Can you put them in the ground now and call it a day?
Fall is the best time of year to plant trees in Central Texas. The hard thing is the water, and it's hot in the summertime. They need the most water in the summertime. So a lot of these trees we put in the ground in fall, and if we get some rain, we don't have a crazy winter drought, you should never need to water these again.
Wow.
Again, the tree that you're standing next to is a Montezuma cypress.
Okay.
There's a number of Montezuma cypress in Central Texas along Lady Bird Lake that are probably 1,000 years old. So these were clearly never watered before we got here. Now,
Right.
granted, these are better trees to have in areas if you're along Onion Creek, if you're along one of the, that's where these trees do phenomenal. They really grow near the water's edge, but I would say all of these, after their, period to get in the ground, you shouldn't have to ever water them. These should be trees that can maintain themselves in Central Texas.
Ad infinitum. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the big boy. This is a sycamore in the middle, right?
Sycamore, yeah. This is I don't think enough people plant sycamores in Central Texas. I love
It's
the
beautiful.
big leaves.
Yeah.
On windy days, they make a great noise. It's not quite a static noise, but if you like a little bit of background noise and can't just sit in silence, these are a great tree to have because they do rustle really well.
Oh.
They're also big trees when they get going. So you really get shade in the summertime. This is something that may shade out below it. So if you've got a patio or somewhere below it, these are great because they can help you keep the weeds out even.
Oh, nice. And I just love the big leaves. They look great. And then, of course, something that Central Texas is known for, it's a little guy over here, but it's a pecan tree.
Yeah, you can't say something about Central Texas without pecans. 300-400-year-old pecans are not uncommon. There's tons of them that the early settlers planted in the 1800s that are still producing pretty good amount of pecans.
Wow.
So they're great trees. Again, you don't have to plant these in anywhere special. They don't mind the rock. They don't mind deep bases. They don't mind being near water. So they're a pretty pivotal tree as far as we go. And of course, the birds and all the squirrels love them. And who doesn't like pecan pie?
Amen. When we get these things going, how long does it take for them to reach maturity? Something like, pecans giving pecans back.
Sure. Pecans are, it depends on how we get them. If you start them from a pecan, it may take something like 6 or 7 years for us to get pecans.
Surprisingly not bad.
No, if you do them from a cutting, we can do them from mature trees and they can fruit on the first year.
Wow.
Generally, we are not going to get a lot of pecans. Their real main, the heaviest they're going to give pecans is somewhere between year 75 and year 200. So not to say you won't get great numbers of pecans early, but it's those middle-aged pecans that really
Plant them
give
for
us
your grandchildren.
Yeah, so if, like Swift River or some of these places that have big pecan trees, that's why they're doing so well.
Wow.
Is old trees really throw some pecans.
Okay, so in our last minute, I want to touch on aging. I want to touch on diseases as well.
Sure. That's the hard part about long-lived trees, is when you do have 100-and-something-year-old tree, you don't want to be the person that it dies on your watch, shall we say.
Right.
So looking at the tree, noticing when big branches are falling, if you get colors on the leaves that you haven't seen before, I'm not talking about fall leaf color, I'm talking about in April you see crazy oranges or reds in places they shouldn't, then have a qualified arborist come and look at it. Horticulture is about individual plants need individual attention. These will be trees that when they're older, you're going to want to save them. They become very special on these properties where it's half of your lot is this wonderful tree.
And so valuable for your home property. This is something I've learned since being at Studio 512 is that really well-maintained trees can be worth a lot.
And we can plant big trees. Plants has planted 40-inch trees before, but we're talking about tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get them where you may want them, much less to do it. So, 75, 100-year-old trees, you want to just keep them where they are instead of having to get a new one.
So much interesting information today, Lance. We'll have to leave it there. I could pick your brain for hours, though. We appreciate your time today. Thank you. Email Lance, y'all, if you need help in your yard. He answers emails for free. He's such a nice dude. For more information, visit plants.org. Leland Vittert is the host of On Balance with Leland Vittert, and he's also the News Nation's chief Washington anchor. As successful as he is now, his childhood was actually pretty darn tough. doctors struggled to eventually diagnose him with autism. Instead of paving the way for a smoother life, his father, Mark, became his full-time coach. So Leland, known as Lucky, is joining us now to discuss his book called Born Lucky. Leland, good morning.
Rosie, good to be with you.
Originally diagnosed, I read, with social blindness, which is just a really interesting phrase to hear. Doctors eventually figured out, Leland, that you're on the autism spectrum, but your parents never told anybody about that. So I want to hear why you decided to put this book together now.
It's a great question. 1986, 87, autism was understood to be what we now know as profound autism. So when they brought my parents to a psychology testing center, my parents brought me because I was supposed to be evaluated. They really didn't have an answer. The psychologist walked out into that waiting room that we've all been in with, linoleum floors and stale coffee, cheap magazines, and said to my parents, we really don't understand what's going on inside his head. A learning disability is a 20-point spread between the two halves of your IQ on an IQ test. I had a 70-point spread. So from, in the parlance of the day, mentally retarded to genius. And my parents said, well, is there anything we can do? And the woman said, generally not, to my dad, which was basically hey, just meet your kid where he's at. He is who he is. Adapt the world to him. Extra time on tests, tutors, all sorts of accommodations. And he's going to be who he is. And my dad said, no. So they were hopeless. And this person basically said, you're helpless to help your child. And this Born Lucky is the story of hope for parents, not just of kids struggling with anxiety, but for every parent, every grandparent, every friend, aunt, uncle who has a kid in their life struggling with autism, ADHD, anxiety, bullying, whatever it may be, that you have an enormous amount to do with the outcome. There is real hope. You have the hope that my parents didn't when I was diagnosed.
Absolutely. They told your parents, hey, there's not a whole lot you can hope for here, but your dad said, forget that, quit his job, right? Became your full-time life coach. Talk to us about Mark and tell us a little bit more about him.
Greatest guy in the world. And look, Rosie, there's some people who attract friends like magnets, like you. I repelled people, especially my own age, like magnets when I was a kid. So you think about my dad, he quit his job and he decided, I'm going to be Lucky's friend because I didn't have any friends. So give you one example, 8th grade, I was in art class. None of us were going to become Picasso or anything, but the art teacher didn't like my art. And he said in front of the whole class, if my dog was as ugly as you, meaning me, I would shave its rear end, didn't say rear end, and make it walk backwards. Oh. So I came home that night just humiliated, as I was every night. So this was a daily occurrence. And I would sit there for 3 or 4 hours with my dad, and I would cry and be angry, and he would tell me, look, what makes you unpopular and picked on and bullied now is what's going to make you successful later in life. I don't know how he knew that, but that's what he said. Yeah. So I would cry myself to sleep, and then he would go downstairs. It's already dark out, and he'd be downstairs, and he'd sit in the living room crying himself. Oh. Not to sleep, but just sitting there himself crying. And my mom would walk out 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, find him sitting there. I never knew that. So up until I was 42 and we started working on this book, never knew that story. But the next morning, he would take me back to school and send me off back to that hell that existed. So this was not about taking adversity away. This was about holding my hand through the adversity.
And I even read that he had you do push-ups to keep bullies at bay. And I'm so sorry that your school experience was so much of a struggle, because of course that's not what we want for our kids, and hopefully that's changing. But any messages?
I don't think it's what we want for our kids, right? But it's the reality for so many kids who are struggling right now, and so many kids, and right now parents are saying, just meet your kid where they're at. And the school goes, we'll take care of it. And nobody loves a child like their parent does. So Born Lucky, it's not a prescription, it's not a cure. It's that proof of what parents can do, and the proof of not just accepting the experts and saying we're going to meet the kid where they're at, but saying my kid can be more.
That is so sweet, and I think your father just sounds like such a stand-up guy. Do you want to ask where we can get a hold of your new book?
Anywhere books are sold. I wouldn't want to tell anybody to stop watching right now, but keep watching. Pick up your phone, go to Amazon, type in Born Lucky, and the book will pop up. And as I said before, I'd be honored for folks to come along with this journey with me. The book, yes, the book is my story, but it's not about me. It's about the hope that it can provide to everybody else.
Wow, I can't wait to get started reading. And not only that, but you've got a Born Lucky special coming up on News Nation. Tell us about that.
Yeah, look, as a journalist, you don't ever want to be the story, right? So I wanted somebody to really push this and ask me the tough questions. Nobody better to do that than Bill O'Reilly. He'll be on with me this Sunday night. Set your DVRs. And I think if you read the book and watch the special, you'll get sort of companion versions to see both sides of this story.
I can't wait to tune in, and I've got some reading to do, as you mentioned. Leland, thank you so much for your time. So nice to know you as Lucky, and I can't wait to get reading. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, you can get Born Lucky right now. You heard, everywhere books are sold, and make sure to tune in to News Nation this Sunday, 7 p.m. for the Born Lucky special. We have a lot of fun here on Studio 512. If you missed any of our great segments, be sure to check out our website where we like to post the fun things we do. Our feed covers content like arts and entertainment, food and drink, fashion and beauty, home and garden, stuff for kids and pets, as well as information from area experts. In addition, you can check out web-exclusive content that you can only find on Studio512TV.com. We also love to post behind-the-scenes funny moments, outfit inspirations, and more on social media. Find us by searching for Studio 512 on your favorite platform. You don't want to miss a single post. Be sure to follow us, check out our website, and watch us every weekday at 11 a.m. right here on CW Austin. Hey, we are happy to be able to offer you some help if you're out there searching for jobs. KXAN has partnered with ZipRecruiter to help you find thousands of job openings in Austin and around the country. Just go to kxan.com/jobs where you can search thousands of new postings every single day. Check it out right now and get started on the path to your next career. Content segments during Studio 512 were paid for by Rosedale Acupuncture and Wellness and Kunik Orthodontics.